It is the Riot Podcast. Good day on this Wednesday. It's January 12th for us. And maybe for you listening, maybe not.
I know. Sometimes it depends. A lot of people are like right on the day or the day after. I know a lot of guys like the next morning you'll listen to the podcast. But then we'll also just get someone who's like, yeah, I'm a year behind. And you're doing your best to catch up.
It's January 12th, 2022.
Yeah, I always feel bad because you'll ask about something with it. And it's like, well, first, I don't remember back then. And second, you might just want to skip ahead and go back to when we're, more currently doing the show.
Podcast struggle.
Yeah, today on the podcast, we talked about how Hudson had a pretty eventful night last night seeing the new Spiderman movie.
I did.
Very jealous.
Yeah, I really want you to go see it, Isaiah, so that we can talk about it.
But it's not in a nice way. You want him to go see it so he doesn't like it also. So you can have someone to talk about
I didn't like it.
That you don't like it as much as everybody else does.
I didn't say that.
Is that right?
It seems pretty accurate, honestly.
I didn't say that.
Hudson said he didn't like it, essentially.
No, I just said it's hard to get past all of the plot holes.
Because you didn't like it.
No, I like the movie. It's just, they didn't do as much hard work to actually make the movie make sense.
You want a gossip buddy.
Yes.
Gossip and talk about the negatives.
To be fair, when I see a really good movie, I want to talk about it with my friends too. And Isaiah's my friend. I just want to talk movies. I saw Dune. I love Dune. Nobody's here to talk about it with me. So
you love Dune?
I love Dune.
Okay.
Dune
Seems
was
as
great.
if he's the opposite of everybody else.
He's like,
I love that one. I hated that one. Everyone else says the opposite.
Spider-Man.
Let's see. Dune. Everybody else hated it.
Hudson loved it.
Spider-Man. Best movie ever.
Hudson, not so great.
I don't know what kind of circles you guys are running in.
Eric saw Dune, and he normally is like pretty cool with most things. And I remember it was like 3 a.m. He came back, and he was like, that was just the worst.
That's not what he said to me.
Well, he's going to be nicer to you. He's going to lie a bit to make you feel
that way
better.
if you like it, then he doesn't feel as bad.
I know that when Eric and I talked about it, we didn't get to talk long, but he had the exact same issue that I had. But other than that, I thought we both liked it a lot.
Right.
I guess I just bring up the issues I have with things, even if I like them, and that's a problem with my point of view.
It's all right. You're just a little negative, Hudson.
Yeah, right.
Or you should just say, hey, I saw it. I got some popcorn. That was great. What a good night.
Did you get the icy? Did you get an icy?
No, I didn't get an icy.
Oh, my gosh. You might as well not even have went.
Oh, I got a Diet Mountain Dew, and I did eat popcorn.
Well, why don't we talk about this during the show tomorrow? Because I don't know why you keep bringing up we should get an icy at the movie theater.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I've never heard of anybody do that.
I've never went and saw a movie and not gotten an icy.
I didn't know they had icy.
Yes.
You did
what?
Icy and popcorn?
You didn't know they had ices at the movie theater?
I never thought about it.
Listen, okay, since I was a child, you would get an icy at the movie theater.
No.
Everybody does that.
No, everybody gets popcorn.
You also get popcorn. You get popcorn, and then you get an icy.
No.
What? You guys are crazy.
Put a pin in this, and we'll talk about it with everyone involved tomorrow.
But it does feel right that you're the one having the ices.
That's crazy. I assume that everybody did that.
The rest of us eat green beans at the movie.
Dang.
Well, you could have popcorn and one candy.
Yeah.
But I guess I just never went with the icy route. It does sound good, though.
Never even crossed my mind.
Really? No. Oh, that's crazy.
And then there's the one time I snuck in ice cream.
Oh, ice cream? That's an aggressive sneak in.
It is.
We would always sneak in like candy or something, like some Twizzlers or something like that. But oh my goodness.
Dude, we would sneak in cans and then you'd roll them in the theater and stuff. And it's like, I think someone snuck something in.
Yeah, so we had some movie talk today. We also brought back a topic that we haven't talked about in a long time, which is right, because I mean it's no longer the season for it, and the season I speak of is hot dog season, which we are out of. But Snoop Dogg is trying to get back into the hot dog game, even though he's not much of a fan. But he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, it seems like.
Well, he's a fan if it makes him money.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
But you'll have to hear about the details about the Snoop Dogs.
And see if you're interested, if you trust Snoop Dogg to put together a hot dog for you.
I don't feel like you can really mess up a hot dog, though.
Well,
wait a minute.
Well, it
All
depends.
Right. The reason he said he said he's never eaten hot dogs again. That was 6 years ago on Jimmy Kimmel. The reason he said that is because he saw how hot dogs were made.
Yeah.
Maybe it inspired him. He's like, I'm going to make a hot dog that you don't have to be ashamed to show the video of how it's made.
Well, that's why I thought maybe he's doing like a plant-based one, or like it's an artisanal one. But dude, at the heart of it, if it's not plant-based, it's still from the pig. There's no way to change that.
And then we wrapped it up at the end by doing a little bit of a throwback in time into the medieval times. and talking about how the horses back then weren't quite as big as we had previously imagined.
Well, I think it's hard too because, and we didn't mention it during it, but we watch a lot of, yes, it's medieval time, but it's, it's got like, it's The Witcher or it's something to where it doesn't even have like real world, like it wasn't real. And so when you see like the horse in those shows or like Lord of the Rings or something, you're like, wow, what a powerful horse. And it's like, well, that wasn't real life either.
Yeah, what a powerful creature.
Right.
It's like,
and
wow,
all the guys were like shredded and jacked back then, like they didn't look like that.
Like they were able to work out or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in our real medieval times, they were riding ponies.
They were probably doughy.
Yeah, exactly.
Doughy and ponies.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think about that. And again, thanks for listening whenever this is being listened to by you. Thanks for joining us for our podcast today. And text and say hi at 877-2-RADIO-U.
And we'll check you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Feeling fine for a Wednesday. Do I look fine?
You look wide awake.
Wide awake?
Yeah, you do.
Do I look a little different
What's
than
changed?
like since you saw me yesterday?
Oh, you saw Spiderman.
I saw
Is that
Spider-Man,
it?
and I'm a changed man.
Did you like it?
I did like Spider-Man. You know what? It would be weird for me to sit here and be the person that like actually new Spider-Man not very good.
When everybody else is the exact opposite.
Even I, in the controversial stances I like to take, not going to take that one. However, let me start by in my review by saying I've seen almost every Marvel movie. I've seen a lot of the shows. This Spider-Man movie is the first one where where not just once, multiple times in the movie, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Really?
Like I've seen
out of all the other movies.
I mean, yeah, I can get past a million other things. There was some stuff that happened in this Spider-Man movie. Like obviously in superhero movies, there's all kinds of unbelievable stuff. Nobody's disputing that. It's just, but they at least come at it in a way where you're like, okay, I can see that. Like I can put that aside. With Spider-Man, I still put it aside because I was having fun. It was a good time. It was very cool. But it almost was. Some of it was lazy, where this is the first one in a while where I just felt like, okay, they knew what they wanted to do and they didn't really care if it made sense.
Well, maybe that's why people enjoyed it so much.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't have to make sense if it's fun. And I'm not complaining. I'm not disputing that. But I will say, I can't wait for my buddy Isaiah, our friend, our producer. I can't wait for him to see it so him and I can talk about all the things that didn't make sense about the movie. But that said, there was a lot of stuff to love about it. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What I really liked the way that they handled the villains. And how Spider-Man deals with them. Obviously, like it's cool to see all of the different characters coming in from previous Spider-Man movies, but the way that Spider-Man had to actually handle them, fight them, and his emotional arc through the movie was great. And it actually, despite not making a lot of sense, and needing a lot of suspension of disbelief, it actually packed a really great emotional punch for a superhero movie too. So all in all, it gets a thumbs up. However, I have to say it's not as good as Spider-Man: Homecoming. And there's certainly several other Marvel movies that would rank ahead of it as well.
Well, if you saw it, since Isaiah's not and Hudson has no one to talk to about it, if you want to text in at 877-2-RADIO-U, if you just want to talk it out with him, I think that might be healing.
Maybe
for
you
him
can convince me why the things that don't make sense actually did make sense.
So get your opinions
what I was
ready
missing.
to go.
But man, it feels good to finally be a part of a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Just about a month late.
And you finally went to a movie theater.
Yeah.
And you finally had popcorn.
You know what? Actually going to a movie theater, it felt like a bit of a mistake.
Oh, did it?
The problem with the movie theaters, there's other people also watching the movie with you.
You should have talked to them about the moments in the movie.
No, they left partway through.
Really?
About as soon as the credits roll. But no, it was this. I don't really understand the dynamic, but it was very young children, which is fine. Although I don't know that Spider-Man was the movie for them, not because it was inappropriate, just because they didn't seem interested.
Sure.
They were walking in and out. They're like, hey, can you go with me to go wash my hands? The whole movie, and it's just like, why are you here? Why did somebody bring you?
You should tell me, like, don't you understand? It's been a while since I've come in. Could you not ruin this?
Yeah, right? And then the lights came, I stayed all the way to the end. The lights came on. There was so much stuff all over the place from those kids. So I don't know. I just don't like, I don't mind kids. I just don't know that this was the place for them in this situation. Is there not other kids' movies that maybe they would have sat down for the whole thing?
No, you go up to
I know how kids are. That wouldn't work either. You go up to
him, you're like, shouldn't you just stayed home?
Yeah, right. Isn't Clifford the Big Red Dog on Paramount Plus or something?
We heard it's funny.
Yeah.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. RadioU.
So this is great. The TSA, Transportation Security Administration, has released their annual list of the most unusual things confiscated at airport checkpoints.
Yeah.
So in 2021, here's a bunch of the crazy stuff they found. Number 1, chainsaw. That was at Louis Armstrong, New Orleans International Airport.
Who's trying to bring that in?
A lumberjack,
I guess.
probably. I like
to him, that's a pocket knife.
Right. It's just, what's the big deal?
Sure.
I bring this with me everywhere.
Yeah, you always have it.
I like that Louis Armstrong has his own airport.
Sure.
It's interesting to think about who has their own. And Louis Armstrong is, the guy that's like, what a wonderful. He gets his own airport. He deserves it.
Hey, the real question is, why don't you have one?
That's right. Well, it would be hard to decide where to put it.
Sure.
Since I'm such a traveler.
Yeah.
Let's see. A wine bottle holder that was made to resemble a cluster of revolvers.
I like that the wine bottle holder, I think, is hard enough. And then you just add, it looks like revolvers.
Yeah. Why? I don't know why you would have a wine bottle holder that looked like that. That was in Sacramento. An assortment of fireworks and pyrotechnic devices in Syracuse.
I feel like they might find fireworks at more than one airport.
Yeah, right. That's probably happened several times.
Mm-hmm.
A machete, that was at Ronald Reagan Airport in D.C., and they do point out that not only did the passenger have a machete, they also attempted to bring ammunition and a canister of butane fuel. So that sounds like bad news.
That does. What can you do with that?
Is that Bane or something? Like, that's a supervillain.
I don't know. I feel like that person was asked to get out of the line, because these are like when you check in at airports.
Yeah.
Asked to get out of the line and maybe taken to another part of the airport.
Yeah, they were detained, right?
This one in Destin, you had a canister of bear spray.
Yeah. Well, you never know when you might find, I guess, I guess they were leaving Florida. Because I was going to say, you never know when you might find a bear. Yeah, there could be. There could be. So, and maybe that would work on alligators too.
The next one is the fact that they point out it's a well-worn cleaver.
Is that like a meat cleaver?
Like the pounding thing?
I thought it was like the giant knife. Like that's a square.
Let me see. What
that has the hole in it that they would have in cartoons.
Oh, yes.
Is that what that is?
So a cleaver knife is exactly that.
Wow.
Yeah, it is there.
Well, that person, it was well worn, so they've done a lot of butchering, apparently. I don't want to know what they've been butchering.
That's why they don't want to go into more detail for this.
Here's one. A firearm concealed in a belt buckle.
Mm-hmm.
That is at an airport that it doesn't denote where that is.
Now, the number 8 one is the best.
This is great. A crystal meth concealed in a breakfast burrito. In other words, a methrito.
It's a methrito.
Which sure sounds like something you could also get at Taco Bell.
I know.
If you know the right person to ask.
Well, that's with their new subscription service.
Yeah, right.
You got to pay a monthly price for the
Methritos
methrito.
Lovers Pass. Let's see. A long-barreled antique-style revolver in Newark. Now that's surprising. I mean, you could take that if you had the right paperwork.
Yeah, I guess, but probably not the right paperwork.
No, I don't think. And then bullets concealed in a deodorant stick in Atlantic City. They were trying to get clever there.
That's an all-natural deodorant right there.
Yeah, that's right.
I would make them be like, put it on, why don't you?
Right.
Put it on under your arms. Let's see what happens.
Right guard, more like wrong guard.
So that's some of the most unique things that they found when you would check in at TSA.
Yeah, so don't take any of those when you go through the airport check. You think that person, that was Atlantic City, you think they were visiting Atlantic City and they got that while they were there?
Maybe.
Or they were leaving Atlantic City and trying to take that somewhere else?
I don't know. I know sometimes people, if you're told no, you want to find ways to say yes. So maybe they're just trying to sneak stuff through.
I just know all kinds of stuff goes down at Atlantic City. So you didn't bring that with you when you came on your trip, but your way out of town, somehow you found your way to to bullets and a deodorant
And
stick.
sometimes you just have to apologize if you didn't know that you can't bring a chainsaw with you.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes apology is all that's needed, I
Yep,
hope.
and then you have to give it to them.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
It's been a long time since we talked hot dogs, hasn't it?
It has.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
It hasn't been nice.
you have to be aware that Hudson used to have a real hot dog thing. Like he would have them every day.
Uh-huh.
And you switched and now you have like soup every day.
I do have
Yeah.
soup every day.
But you were
it's a
having
good choice, too.
You were having hot dogs every day. Sometimes your soup has hot dogs. You just don't know it. But you were talking also during the show, we would have like a hot dog story every morning.
Yeah.
And you really got away from all that.
And for a while, you guys were bringing the hot dog stories in, trying to
Entice you?
dissuade me.
Yeah.
From my hot dog affection. And now, I don't know, the spark might be lighting again because I want to let you guys know that Snoop Dogg, the Snoop Dogg, may be releasing his own line of hot dogs very soon.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
I
right?
don't know. Is it like plant-based or
Snoop
Is it-
Like
Doggy
what?
Dog.
Like
is it
plant-based.
weed-based?
Yeah, cannabis based.
what's he got in
As
there?
far as the details are scarce. In fact, it's possible he won't actually release a line of hot dogs at all. However,
It seems like this is a joke
you think?
because they want to call them Snoop Dogs.
Yeah.
And so they'd be hot dogs. And apparently he applied last month for a patent and a
Right.
trademark
An intent to use patent.
for Snoop Dogs.
Yep. So that
That's such a good name.
just in case he ever decides to start a hot dog brand, he is able to do it with the name Snoop Dogs. Now, what we really don't know is this just in case he's intending to do this, or is it he's planning to do it, and so this is one of the first steps?
It feels like he has a backer. There's someone
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
has presented this idea and they
How-
want to save the name.
How integral would he actually be to the hot dog process? You know, he'd just be a face.
I'm sure
You
they
think?
already have it ready to go.
Do you
I
have
think
any-
the packaging, they could do really good packaging with the Snoop Dogs. But it says in the article he doesn't even like hot dogs.
Yeah.
They said he doesn't even like them. So, but at
I
the same
didn't-
time, I feel like it's one of those things where like you can't pass up the opportunity because if somebody else makes Snoop Dogs,
Yeah.
I feel like they could be really popular. If I went to the store and I saw like some cool packaging and the Snoop Dogg,
You'd go for
I
it?
would
Yeah.
go for the Snoop Dogs.
You're right, because it wouldn't even have to. Somebody could easily have gotten to the name first, and you don't need to have Snoop Dogg's official endorsement. You just call them Snoop Dogs,
Yeah.
spell it the same way and everything. And with the theming, you could make it look like it was a Snoop Dogg brand. And people would probably be into that. It'd be funny for a while. So maybe he's just taking advantage of that, or maybe this really will turn into my new favorite hot dog.
I bet people come to him with a lot of ideas because, like, back in 2011, they say that he filed a similar trademark application for Snoop Scoops, which was supposed to be an ice cream brand. But then that didn't work out, so they abandoned that idea
This is
to move on to hot dogs.
It's given me a great idea. Because at first I was like, Snoop Dogg, he's a real entrepreneur. He's got a lot of businesses going on, doesn't he? Like
Yeah,
he's got
guess.
he's got his own line of cannabis stuff. He's got,
a
his
gin
own
brand.
gin. I swear I've seen his own wine in stores. I'm pretty sure. And so, he's out there doing all kinds of business. So I was like, maybe he could be on Shark Tank. But wait, better than Shark Tank. It's just only Snoop Dogg, and it's people pitching him ideas for things that he can do with his name.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's a good idea.
Isn't he on? Does anybody have you seen the? I thought he is the person on a commercial for lighters. Because on one, they're like, if you want to light candles, and then he pops out and he's like, and if you want to light anything
No
else.
way.
So
He might be. He might.
could
I know
be that.
he's also Corona's spokesperson at the moment, like the Corona beer. So
Well, he's really marketing himself.
He's
so
a
yeah.
good character. He's a
Maybe-
good character.
Yeah.
Down the road, you can have hot dogs called Snoop Dogs.
yeah, all the other rappers from the '90s are like, man, why didn't we think? Why didn't we pick the names we picked? We could have been
I know.
Snoop Dogg, and we'd still be relevant. Instead, we picked whatever else we picked, and nobody cares about.
Sorry, guys.
It. Yeah.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
In fact, I'm so much of a Packers fan that I would love to eat the dirt from Lambeau Field.
Does it sound tempting?
Tantalizing? Yeah, I would love to get just a handful of dirt from Lambeau Field in my mouth which is why I'm very excited about the new Lay's Golden Grounds version of chips they're going to be putting out.
So this is apparently NFL-inspired potato chips. So the potatoes are grown in soil from your favorite NFL team's home field. So they mix the soil into separate parts of Lay's potato fields to make the chips infused with the grounds of your favorite NFL team.
Yeah, so
you can get a Packers one?
You can get a Packers one. You can get, confusingly, they show bags for every team, which I say confusing because not every team has a natural grass field. A lot of them, it's like AstroTurf or,
Well, I'm sure they just
artificial.
It's just dirt then from the field.
They picked it from, if you're lucky, the garden from the out in front of the stadium or something. But yeah, all 32 NFL teams get their own Golden Grounds version of Lay's potato chips. Now, here's the disappointing part. You can't just buy them, of course.
You have to win them?
Yeah, because, how many bags you really think they made of
Not
each
a lot.
stadium, right? They couldn't have taken too much dirt.
They're packaged, you go out and you're like, why is there a hole in the field? Yeah. They are packaged in NFL team colors and logos, so they are special packaging between January, so as of yesterday through the 25th, you can win a bag of the limited edition chips for yourselves. You got to follow Lay's on Twitter.
Yeah, right.
All right. So if you look out for these special Golden Grounds tweets, there's the details. You can respond to one of them showing your love for your favorite team. Pictures are encouraged.
Yeah.
Use the hashtag Lay's Golden Grounds and hashtag sweepstakes. That's a lot of hashtags, guys. And the official NFL hashtag of your favorite team, and that's how you register to win.
I don't know. I kind of might just do it.
You should.
Yeah, but I'd be caught in the tension between I really want to eat them because I want to eat the dirt from Lambeau Field. It'd feel like an honor. I feel like I was a part of the team.
Oh, you don't want to open it if you win.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, it's such beautiful Packers packaging, and then it would be a collector's item. So one day I could sell it for a profit, probably. So how could I decide which to do?
And you'll have to go and look. It doesn't tell me, at least with these details, like, do you get to pick the team that you want? Or
probably because they're asking you to
is it one
include the
per
tag,
team?
right? It would be so weird. They're like, show your pride for your team, and then they send, and I tweet in my Packers pick where I'm completely decked out in Packers stuff. And then they send me the Chiefs bag. That'd be weird.
Well, that's someone having fun with that. So you have a Packers hat on. Are you wearing anything else?
Not at the moment. Yesterday I was all Packers. But today, just the hat.
Well, we'll take a picture.
No, I've got a jersey. I've got a jersey. I've got a jacket. I've got all kinds of stuff.
Wear it all tomorrow.
How about the whole station dresses up? I've got enough Packer stuff for everyone.
We can all wear it?
Yeah, we can all wear it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
That's so great.
And then we could keep the Packers bag here if we win.
Yay. You have the best ideas.
I know, right? It would be a great promotion for not just Lay's, but for us as well.
For us, this is why they're really doing it. It's the first time in 17 years that Lay's is doing a new TV commercial with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's why they're they
want something to promote.
Doing the promotion with it. So if you go to Lay's on Twitter, you can find the details to win the bags of potato chips that have grounds from your favorite NFL stadium.
Which makes it sound like it's coffee.
It's not. It's dirt.
Yeah, it's dirt.
Yeah.
Like the grounds of the stadium.
That's where the potatoes were grown.
Yeah. So if you're like a Giants or Jets fan, you could get Jimmy Hoffa in your potatoes. And your chips.
He was buried there.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Although I think that was a previous stadium, but still, it's fun to think about.
You never know.
Fun to think about eating Jimmy Hoffa.
What might be in your potato chips?
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
For the Oscars this year, when they air March 27th on ABC, for the first time in several years, they will have a host.
What have they been having?
They've
just like an assorted amount of people?
Kind of ensemble. Because, like all the presenters for the nominees and the awards and whatever, it's a rotating group of actors and whatever. Some of them are like specifically the previous winners from last year, and they'll hand it out and whatnot. But they just
the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah, right. Since the Kevin Hart thing, they have not done an actual host. So Jimmy Kimmel was the last host of the Oscars, but this year, I guess the guy's name is Craig Erwich. He's not the host, but he is the president of Hulu Originals and ABC Entertainment, and he has confirmed there will be a host for the Oscars in 2022. They haven't announced yet, so that leaves the door open. Who do you think? Okay, you're not going to watch the Oscars. I know this.
Sure.
But
who should be the host?
Who would give you the best? Who would give you the best odds of actually watching? If you're like, they're hosting, I guess maybe I'll tune in.
Well, I actually think it's funny they're not saying it right now.
Yeah.
They're not going to say it because they don't want to give enough time to cancel that
That's
person.
Right.
Because
Isn't that so true?
That's what happened with Kevin Hart. So they're going to be quiet about it. I don't know. Give me maybe a few minutes to think about who would be someone I'd want to watch for that many hours giving out awards.
Yeah, I've been pondering over it, and like any person I come up with doesn't feel right. It's hard to come up with a person to host the Oscars. In part, the reason they haven't had a host, obviously, because Kevin Hart, there was some controversy around him, and so they wound up cutting him. Couldn't find anybody else to do it. It's not easy to find somebody to agree to it because it's a lot of work. It's kind of high stakes in a way, but you don't get a lot out of it. So it's not always easy to find the right person that's high profile enough, interesting enough. But at this point, especially after last year's Oscars, it doesn't matter if it's a big name. They just need somebody.
They do.
Because it just seems so empty and boring without somebody kind of controlling everything.
You're fine to be one of the the introducers or the host for one of the awards. You just don't want to do the whole thing.
Yeah, right. It's a ton of work. And again,
Nathan,
if you screw it up.
Nathan just texted in. You totally love this. Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Hulu
that
show.
would be amazing. You're right. Here's the problem with that. As much as I would love it, and they would be great hosts, don't get me wrong, but the Oscars doesn't want to have a reputation of being old white guys.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more old white guy than Steve Martin and Martin Short, unfortunately.
I saw some of their interviews, when they were promoting.
Yeah.
What was the show called for Hulu?
Only Murders in the Building.
And their humor, everyone who's young on that show would just sit there and stare at them. Or,
Selena Gomez did not get it after all of the time she spent with him. She still was like,
It's just older humor.
Yeah,
So, all right, well, text in and let us know if there was anybody that they can pick for the Oscars.
Yeah, I was trying to think of
who would it be?
A Kevin Hart type, because that's who it should be. It's like Kevin Hart would have been a good host. I'm not a huge Kevin Hart fan. He would have been a great host. So they need somebody like him, young enough, racially diverse would probably be what they would go for. And I don't know who that would be.
Without the controversy.
Yeah, without the controversy.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck finding someone.
We can't come up with it in 5 minutes here, so that means there's no way they can come up with it. Yeah.
Well, text 877 to RadioU. But Nathan, that's a great idea, but I think they might not be chosen.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm worried they're going to pick somebody that I hate. You know?
Okay, we'll get your list out, okay?
Yeah.
I want to make sure we know
I'm not
going to
list the people that I hate, but I think it's going to be one of them,
There's
bet.
a lot.
Yeah.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
One of the things that I really appreciated about the movie is how they handled Spider-Man's interaction with the villains, with the, what do you call it? The antagonists of the movie. And actually, it's not just Spider-Man. There's been at least another one or two superhero movies I've seen do this recently, where the normal thing in the superhero movie is there's a good guy and a bad guy, and you're supposed to be good, and the bad guy is just bad, so you're supposed to beat him up. Maybe not kill him because you're a good guy, so good guys don't necessarily kill, but you got to beat him. You just got to beat him up. You just got to defeat him.
But the bad guy was obviously bad.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's right. He's obviously bad, and that's just who he is. He's just a bad guy. But I like that more and more we're seeing bad guys that where they're treated as, they're bad, but maybe that doesn't mean that they always have to be bad. Maybe, and not just as in where they turn them into a hero eventually, but just where just because you are bad and something bad has happened to you, or something out of your control a lot of times for these guys has happened to you, and you become a villain, doesn't mean that always is the way it has to be. It doesn't mean that there's no hope. Your story doesn't have to be villain forever. And that's something I think that's helpful for each of us to remember as well. You might think, especially like when it comes to God, that God, like once you screw up a few times, it's, well, I'm a bad guy, and I guess I'm always a bad guy. So that means I have to do evil.
You're on the bad list.
Yeah, you're on the bad list. But the truth is, like, you don't just have to be fought and punched in the face by the good guys. You can't. There is a hope for something different. Just it's a few bad choices, a few bad things that have happened to you don't define you going forward. God doesn't see you that way. God understands, like, a lot of stuff happens to us. We all make mistakes. Every single one of us. We make some bad choices in life. But that doesn't have to be everything about you for the rest of your life. God loves you despite the bad choices you've made, despite the bad things that have happened to you, and he's ready to help you, put you on the path forward in life to live a better life, to not have to go down like a negative road. Jesus wants to do that for you. And I do want to add as an aside, this is also helpful for us, like for the people you see as bad guys. You don't have to, everybody that's a bad guy, you don't have to defeat. Maybe if you start seeing them as something that something bad has happened to, somebody that's made a few bad choices, you start thinking of them a little bit in a different way. It changes your approach to how you talk to them and interact with them. Something to think about as well. But at the end of the day, if you're feeling like God is just looking down on you, judging you, seeing you as the villain, that's not the case. God loves you. He wants to help you go through life. He wants to be there for you every single day. And he'll do that because he loves you.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about The Riot for free? RadioU.
What do you guys make of this story? According to a team of researchers led by archaeologists at the University of Exeter, which is in the UK, they propose that when we think of medieval war horses, you know, like, I don't know if this is old enough, but like kind of along the lines of Braveheart, King Arthur kind of stuff, they propose that those horses were actually really the size of ponies.
They were
like
pony
the
ones?
miniature horses.
I think that's amazing. Do you think that's really true?
Why would they? I mean,
I
these
think
are
it's true.
scientists.
Yeah.
You
I believe it. I believe it. Because I think over the course of time, everything just gets better. So
Bigger and better.
So like if you drop me in like the 1700s, Jim and I could do some serious damage as a duo.
Your dog's just
Hey,
the
you could
perfect
do damage
size.
now. Come on.
Yeah, I think if you dropped me back then I would just be bigger, stronger, and faster than the normal
Well,
human.
Do you think that makes sense? Because like if you had to fight back then and you wore like armor,
Yeah.
it would probably be very hard to get on to what we thought would
Oh,
be a
for sure.
massive
Oh,
horse.
yeah.
So instead, they were riding pony horses or like the miniature ones, and that's what they were fighting on.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if you came back with like a big horse. They'd be like, "Whoa, what the heck? Where'd you
The
get this thing
monster
from?"
horse. You got
Yeah,
Secretariat
Clydesdale
over
you
there.
brought back there. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, where is
See,
this thing?"
Here's what I don't understand. Here's how it's hard to square up. We have like art from that time, right?
Yeah.
Like we obviously know pictures, but people did paintings and I don't know, drawings at that time. The horses seem to be regular size, don't they?
But if you've ever done research into, they always made people look better, and maybe people were just smaller then.
Yeah.
So-
They definitely
Well, they probably
were.
also did like pictures of dragons too. So how do you know what anything's true?
Exactly.
But wait, so on that note then, do you think that if the horses were drawn to scale with the people, then that means the people were also like
They were
much
probably
smaller,
smaller.
you
Oh
think?
yeah,
Sure.
Yes,
Like how
for sure.
short? How short do you think they were?
The average sized man in the 1700s was like 5'8".
Yeah,
That
You
was
say
like
that like it's
Have you
that's
ever
like it's a
tried?
fact.
Like,
That
if
is a
you've ever
fact.
gone to like an old house from the early 1900s or like a theater and stuff,
Yeah.
like you're not fitting
You're
in
too
there.
tall,
You're too
right?
tall.
That's a good
You're
point.
too
That's a good
tall.
point.
So
You
they
go to Fenway
say-
Park and you can't fit.
You
so.
can't even do it. They
Yeah.
say that the medieval war horses were probably just shy of 5 feet tall to the shoulder blades. And for reference, that'd be like a Shetland pony. If you've seen one about that.
They
So.
should make a historically accurate then movie
About it?
Yeah, where everybody's short. Tom Cruise is like his actual height, and he's playing a medieval warrior, and he's riding a horse, and it all.
Considering since a lot of our top stars for guys wear the stuff in their shoes to make them taller,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised the ponies are also made to look bigger too.
All right, I got a question for you guys. If you were around in this time, what part of the army would you be?
Me?
Yeah, what would you do?
I'd be back at the castle.
Would you? You would? Well, yeah, you'd be like the princess, right, up in the tower.
I'm the queen.
The queen.
So,
okay.
yeah.
What part of the army would I be? Like, would I be in the front line?
Are you like Braveheart, like leading the charge? You an archer up on the tower?
I wouldn't even be fighting.
You wouldn't even be fighting?
No chance. I feel like I'm too valuable, you know? There's no chance they want to lose me.
The most valuable people are the ones fighting.
See, no. The most valuable people are the ones that are back at the castle they're protecting. So I'd be one of the ones that are like, we got to keep him. We can't risk losing this guy with that big old brain, you know? Obviously, that time, I feel like I'd be a pretty valuable member of the team.
See, I think obviously, I'm too tiny, even in those days. I'm just not in good enough shape, so I would be horrible to be a guy at the front line. But also, horrible eyesight. It'd be even worse in those times. Their glasses technology would not aid me whatsoever. So I'd be. Yeah,
I thought you were coming back like with your contacts, and you come back with your glasses. You know,
I would have died. I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have gotten to the war part. They would have just killed me. So I would have been eaten by a wolf or something.
They would have seen your glasses and been like, "What sorcery is this?"
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think we've established this that maybe yes, the horses were smaller back in the day, and if the riot was back in medieval times, we would still be at the castle doing the show there to whatever audience we could gather around.
It would not be. You're right. We'd be the minstrels.
They'd be feeding me grapes. That's all I know. That's what I'd be doing.
We would be that.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
In the vein of food fights, we've got another one that we can start planning ahead for, and that will be the Oreo birthday celebration.
Wow.
Oreos. Did you know it's about to be Oreo's 110th birthday?
I did not know. It looks like it'll be March 6th.
March 6th, 2022, so mark it down on the calendar. And to celebrate, of course, they are very appropriately putting out a new style of birthday cake Oreos.
Which they have out all the time.
They do. They have the standard birthday cake Oreos you can already get. I think that's a permanent fixture in the Oreo lineup. But these ones are Oreo chocolate confetti cake cookies.
Yeah, wow.
So what makes them so special? Let me tell you. One, of course, they have the birthday cake with the confetti in it, that
cream
icing.
flavor?
Yep. But they also have a layer of chocolate cake flavored cream as well.
And that'll be between the two cookies.
And the cookies, I believe, maybe don't quote me on this, but I believe the cookies also have confetti in them.
I can't tell if it's just art. Because it looks like there's confetti, so that's in the cream filling, the white one.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if it's on the cookie itself.
It says they will feature a pair of chocolate wafers embedded with rainbow sprinkles.
Oh, it's in there. Hey.
So, and the packaging is quite fancy as well, as you would expect. For a birthday celebration.
Well, let's be on top of this because you can pre-sell them at Oreo's website starting yesterday.
Yeah.
We're late.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be purchased retailers nationwide starting on the 31st.
Yeah, let's see. I wonder if we can actually acquire them here. $4.50. Add to bag. Let's see. Where's my bag? Okay. I think we could just buy them if we wanted to. $4.50, that's not even that expensive.
Yeah, but when would they get here? Because you're pre-buying them.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Does it say? Okay, that's not helpful. What am I doing?
And let's get a couple of bags.
Yeah, right. We need several to resell on eBay later. So let's just say I wanted 5. Let's just say.
That's a big number.
Let's just say the most I can purchase is 2. So there we go, right there.
I'm up for buying them ahead of time.
Let's say we buy 2. Update. This is great radio, isn't it? Just me online shopping. Okay, how do I check out? I don't know how to check out. I've got them in the cart. How do I check out?
I can't help you until I go over there. Which means
proceed to check out. Here we go.
You got
Here
them?
we go. I don't have a discount code.
Hey, will you tell me next time you go shopping online for something? I want to always be a part of it.
How much would you pay to ship these?
It's not free shipping?
No, it is not.
Oh, is it like $10?
It's $10 for just the standard ground.
Yeah.
$30 for expedited.
Oh, that hurts.
What does this mean? $18.50 for warm weather shipping.
For warm weather?
Yeah, let's do that.
That means that it's protected so it doesn't melt if it's a warm weather day.
Oh, okay. Are you serious or are you just making that up?
No, I'm serious.
You're serious?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Do you want your Oreos melted? You paid a lot to ship them.
How do they melt? They're Oreos.
Listen, just buy it all right? Just say yes to everything and buy the Oreos.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll get on this. Maybe do it off the air so we can get to something more entertaining to actually listen to.
Let's finalize that order. But Oreo's birthday again is on March 6th, so that's their cookies that they're going to do in honor of that.
And you can join us in pre-ordering them today or anytime, I guess, before January 31st, and then they'll be supposedly in stores starting January 31st. New Oreos, happy birthday!
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, it's been widely publicized, the supply chain crisis, some are calling it.
It's still there. I mean, if you've not experienced it, then what you trying to get?
Yeah, it's
there's
almost
plenty of it.
In a way, I feel that we've gotten used to it, or it just doesn't feel as impactful as it did like before Christmas.
Yeah,
when it was like, are we going to be able to get presents? Are we going to be able to get all the food that we want to get for our Christmas meals and stuff? So it's still around the supply chain, but maybe just not quite as blatant.
Well,
depending
tough.
on what you're looking for.
If it's there, that's great, but the prices normally increase.
Yeah.
If they actually have it, and if not, then a lot of people's stuff is just out of stock right now.
Yeah, and the other thing was before Christmas, we were seeing all the stories of everything's backed up in the ports. There's all these shipping containers that are just going nowhere and stuff like that. So that was the supply chain crisis stuff at that time. Well, what if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg?
There's more?
We have a prediction here. This is from Frederick Newman. He is the co-head of Asian Economics Research at HSBC, a businessman. He would know. He says that if the Omicron variant, some say Omicron, I say Omicron.
Yeah.
Some call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade. He says that if the Omicron variant hits Asia, he calls it could lead to the mother of all supply chain stumbles.
Oh, even worse?
Yeah, because if it hits Asia, where so many of the factories are, and starts shut, like where people where they're not able to come to work at the factories, it's going to slow down all the production or even shut them down completely, which means a lot less stuff for us.
Kind of think back to the beginning of COVID, what is this at this point, many years ago, when there was that first food sort of concern and shortage. And a lot of that stuff was centered around factory workers and factories just completely not being open at all.
Right.
And then that kind of moved into there is stuff, but it's stuck on boats.
Yeah.
And so now they're saying it might move back to, the factories will shut down.
It could really be, it sounds like a confluence of the two events where you have those things stacked on top of each other, the shipping containers. I mean, that's still got to be a problem, right?
It's fine. I don't want anything. It's fine. Right. Perfectly fine.
Well, and that, like he says, but it's not if, but when, because the Omicron variant is it's spreading so much, it's bound to happen to hit Asia.
But I also feel like sometimes when everybody, not just with COVID stuff, but even, going back to the shipping and the boats and the thises and the that's, I feel like everybody gives us a heads up and they're almost like a part of the reason why. And they're just trying to make the reason out there, to just tell you ahead of time.
They have built-in excuses ahead of time before anything goes wrong. It's like what they do when they give you the heads up, like gas prices are going up even more. Yeah. And you're like, well, don't tell me. Yeah. You're not trying to do anything to stop it. Right. How about instead of telling us the gas prices are going to go up, how about tell us what you're going to do to stop them from going up?
Fix it.
You could, but I don't know. It is. It's definitely concerning, especially considering, I don't know if you know this, Nikki, China is hosting the Olympics. Mm-hmm. China is in Asia.
Yes.
And all these people from all different countries. I know they have their loop or whatever, but come on, let's not kid ourselves here. Omicron is going to get into China and going to get into Asia, and it's going to spread like wildfire.
Well, they won't tell you.
And I was just thinking, they might just not shut down the factories. They'll just be keep coming to work anyways. So then it's I don't know. Do you feel bad about that? I don't know. But What do we even do?
So they say it's called transportation, which is the boat stuff. Transportation and labor issues, factory shutdowns, shortages. So it affects food, electronics still, literally everything, everywhere could potentially be affected even more. Thank you for the good news, Hudson.
Oh, yeah. You know
That's
what?
so
I just thought we all
exciting.
might want to start doomsday prepping.
Great.
Yeah.
I love to bulk buy.
Head to Costco now while you still have the chance.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.